all the books that I recommend you read. If you like Blood Meridian, you should definitely track all these books down. You should definitely, just read. God damn it, you should read. Just fucking read. Just fucking read some goddamn books. Blood Meridian. This book is taking on a life of its own, and without question, Blood Meridian's a great read. It's bloody. It's a western, and the prose is really unique with little punctuation and plenty of things that make Cormac McCarthy such a unique writer. This is my beat up and abused copy, and I really do enjoy reading this book despite it being such a frightening piece of fiction. But with that said, maybe you've already read Blood Meridian, and maybe you'd like to read something that's a lot like it, at least. Maybe just thematically, or maybe just the fact that it's a western with a little bit of an edge to it. Maybe that'll scratch that itch that Blood Meridian left you with, like that one X did. The first thing I have to recommend is probably just more Cormac McCarthy books, which I'd have to say, there's just no one else that really writes Cormac McCarthy, in this very kind of pure style. Which, if you want something that's like, Blood Meridian, that's also written by Cormac McCarthy, that I'd probably say No Country for Old Men thematically is very much like Blood Meridian, but genre-wise, it's probably All the Pretty Horses. This is definitely a western in the purest sense. These are definitely ones you'd probably enjoy if you enjoyed Blood Meridian. The first book that's like Blood Meridian is American Dirt by Janine Cummins, and it's got a bunch of praise from other well-known authors, but I don't really care about none of that. The book is it's got good action. Like, it opens up out of the gate, and I bet you're probably curious about what this sticker's for. Well, it was a book of the month of Oprah's. She put it on her book of the month, and I despise Oprah, so I felt like this was a great improvement. So yes, American Dirt. Definitely bloody, definitely a western, and so this one might be, you might like this one. The next one is Cold Mountain. Cold Mountain has been turned into a movie, which Blood Meridian has yet to be turned into a movie. It's considered to be impossible. But this is definitely a really good, period piece. It's definitely a depressing novel. It's a touch of the pessimism that you get from a McCarthy book, and I like this book. As you're reading it, you feel, you definitely get that beautiful imagery, and that's one of the things that I always loved about McCarthy's writing, is that he's very rich with details and very descriptive. I just feel like that creates good immersion, and I say this book, maybe not quite as descriptive, has a nice balance. Okay, another book would be John Jake's North and South. So this is a big book. This is a huge novel, but it's also really good. It's definitely historical, but it's also a fictional, historical fiction, much of the same way Blood Meridian is, and it definitely gets into some pretty fucked up storylines, and I was really surprised how dark the North and South book really is. It's a part of a trilogy. Like, it's definitely and Blood Meridian is actually based on true events, and the judge character has actually been confirmed to have been a real person. But this is a great read. I recommend this one very much. Maybe not a pure western, definitely not a bloody, definitely not. It may be the least like Blood Meridian out of all the recommendations, but thematically, I think The Mysterious Stranger by Mark Twain deserves a mention here, because it's definitely as existentially terrifying, the things that the Satan character talks about. It's as existentially terrifying as the things the judge talks about. Things that are just you can't even really argue with them. They're so twisted, but he's got a point. So character development wise, I definitely want. I mean, it's already a theory that the judge is the devil himself, but I definitely liked. I thought there were some similarities there. The next book is Night of the Hunter by Davis Grubb. Maybe you saw the movie. The movie was fantastic. Robert Mitchum, amazing performance. And I think the only reason I really chose this book for this video is because the character of the preacher, again, is just this very, he's no judge, just like the judge is no preacher. But again, if you want to read something that's kind of like Blood Meridian, then I think Night of the Hunter you might like this one because, well, it's got a charismatic, evil embodiment of evil character in it, and I think you might really. The story wise, it's fairly simple. The preacher's after this money that this guy he met in prison hid away. He stole it, hid it away, got caught, and now he's in a cell waiting to be hung, and to the gallows pole. And the preacher finds out about this money, goes to the guy's house, and then just sort of, he's just chasing after these kids trying to find that money, and it's genuinely frightening. He's one of the creepiest characters I've ever read in anything, and he reminded me a fair bit of who. All right, the next book may be the most like, the most I'd say like Blood Meridian, and it's The Revenant. The Revenant by Michael Punk. I'll just call him Punky. But yes, this is a fantastic read. It is, and you've probably seen the movie too. Great movie. It's a good revenge story, but just the setting is really what sets it apart. Just the snowy landscape, this unforgiving environment, and I love the detail it goes into what the character's going through. This book is a must read, especially if you want to read something that's like Blood Meridian. So probably next to Blood Meridian itself, I'm getting so tired of saying Blood Meridian, say that 3 times fast. I think this is one of the best books I've ever read. It's called The Searchers by Alan LeMay. It was turned into a movie starring John Wayne called The Searchers. I think it was directed by John Ford too, and it's currently ranked in the top 10 best movies ever made. I think the book also deserves to be rated accurately too. Like, it deserves as much respect as the movie does. I guess you could say it's a revenge story. It's definitely bloody. It's an epic. It's a Western epic, and the main character is basically trying to track down where these people they kidnapped a little girl and they slaughtered her family, people he was friends with, and now he's trying to track him down and maybe save the little girl. It definitely is a dark, grisly, but definitely a hopeful. There's hope in the album. Blood Meridian, there is no hope. It's just not. It is sort of the antithesis. It's the most pessimistic novel perhaps ever written. It's great for that reason. The Searchers is great for reasons opposite to that. There is hope. There is something worth fighting for, even in this harsh environment that is the West. I have no idea what this little piece of paper is doing taped to it, but I left it there anyway. Author of The Unforgiven. If that's the Clint Eastwood movie, then I might have to track that one down and read that. But yeah, definitely. I'd say out of all the books I've talked about, this is the one I recommend you read the most. This is a fantastic read. It really changed the way I view Western novels in general, or the Western genre as a whole. That it is a platform for dark, deep, thought-provoking storylines, and these 2 books are a fine example of that.